Food security in Asia-Pacific region has been deteriorating in recent years, not only because of the pandemic, but also due to many other factors such as climate change that lead to a loss of natural resources production and productivity, and the immediate impact of the war resulting in critical price rises. Thailand is not doing too badly, and the country is on the right track in handling the issue of food security, according to a United Nations expert. He said the steps Thailand has been taking through the pandemic are good, and it should continue doing this. But the country needs to be watchful.
I think Thailand has been very fortunate. It's a country which is blessed with rich natural resources, particularly in terms of soil and water and rainfall. And so, although the COVID pandemic had other impacts on certain sectors, such as tourism, as we have seen, on agriculture, the rebound post the pandemic, and especially right now, there is the opportunity to earn higher incomes for the farmers from the production that they're able to now export. I think the indicator that affects most people is the price, how much they can actually buy for a given price, and how much of their household income they're actually spending on food for their families. I think that's the indicator that everybody watches out for, to make sure that they have enough income left over after their food purchase to spend on other things, notably on health and education, childcare, and things like that.
The United Nations is to release the State of Food Security and Nutrition Global Report in about 3 weeks. If we look back over the past 2 years, the previous report shows that close to 650 million people have experienced some form of food insecurity. Nearly 335 million of those are malnourished. The pandemic itself probably has resulted in more than 150 million people going into poverty. Study shows that the Asia-Pacific region, 1.5 years ago, the cost of energy-sufficient diet was approaching $1 per person per day. The cost of a healthy diet per person per day had exceeded $3.50. That makes healthy food unaffordable for many people when the poverty line is $2 per day.
This is the real story in the Asia and Pacific right now. And you can actually hear about and read about countries where now food or buying food is about 40% of their household income. So as that proportion increases, so there are two things. One is the expenditure is more on energy sufficient food, so it's not a healthy diet. Second, more families spend their household income on food. They have less money for healthcare, for education, for doing all the other things which are also important for human development.
Some governments try to help their people by capping the price of some food products and restricting the export of some food items. Experts said those strategies are not helping the global situation. One of the recommendations from the FAO is to let the trade flow organically, which will help stabilize the pricing on the international market. The benefit of such restrictions is very limited and makes food even less affordable for vulnerable groups. At the same time, exports allow local farmers and food producers to earn more. As for Thailand, Thamapuri said there is now an opportunity to export more food and produce.
Thailand in particular regards and has the stated aim to be the kitchen of the world. Maybe they can also aim to be the kitchen garden of the world.
But the most urgent issue in food security is how we can protect the vulnerable.
Well, I think the most important thing is one is to protect the vulnerable populations, to have social protection measures, to have social safety nets, to ensure that no one is left behind, so no one goes hungry, and everybody has access to safe and affordable food. The second is to use this current situation as an opportunity to change our food systems, so our agri-food systems, how we produce, so that we have to plan for a future where we have to produce more food using fewer natural resources, and at the same time assuring income for all those who are involved. In terms of support to vulnerable groups, we always recommend, and Thailand has been very good at this, is to invest more in social protection programs, more in direct benefits transfer, in cash transfers, so that those who are vulnerable and are need more financial support to buy food or access food, they actually have the means to do so.
Tulip Naksompop Blauw reporting for Thai PBS World.